Hello and welcome to the Knowing Show. I am your host, Christene Marie. I am so thrilled to be here with you all tonight. We are talking about one of my very favorite subjects, which is joy. And, it's so funny. I just had a conversation the other day with someone where I was talking about joy and actually talking about kind of the dark side of joy. And we talked about the dark side of empathy, I think, one other time here on the show. And it was such an incredibly important conversation. We might need to do it again. I learned first about the dark side of empathy back in May of last year. And I saw how quickly something that is so beautiful, the ability to go and pick yourself up and go and sit in someone else's shoes, to see the world through their eyes, that beautiful ability can so quickly become something that can actually be your very demise. You can lose yourself in relationship. You can completely lay yourself on the altar of connection and die in the process. You can actually use that to be manipulative. And so just as there's a dark side to something so beautiful and sacred, to go and sit in someone else's shoes and experience, same too, there is a darkness and a dark side of joy. And so I want to start with definitions. What is joy? And why is this such an important conversation to have? For me, the reason why this matters so much is because joy is a core value of mine. And even beyond a value, it is a way of living. I want to live and be in joy. It's not even who I want to be, it's actually how I want to be. Joy is a state of living. It's almost informing my art of living, so to say. And to use that word art, it actually has to do so much with that right hemisphere of the brain, with the cultivation of that part of our brain that has really received an underemphasis by culture, by education, by even our own profession. We haven't been encouraged to cultivate this right hemisphere of the brain, which is beauty and creativity and joy. Joy really is an art form because we get to curate the life that we live. And so, in the curation of this world and the experience that we have every single day, we get to choose how much is joy the through line and kind of like the thread, the fabric of what we're weaving in the tapestry of our lives. And so, as we consider this concept of joy, as we talk about definitions, it's important to bear in mind around how there is a dark side, how there is this through line that joy can be in terms of how we live. It's like informing the mechanism of our machine, if you want to use that example over a tapestry. So I want to just give a quick definition here. So I love going to the root genesis of anything, whether it's what is the root genesis of the narrative that's in your mind? Where did it start? What's the root? Where did this come from? I like doing that with words too. I grew up actually in a very, it was kind of like this partial school. We went to school 2 days a week and we're homeschooled the other 3. And it was the best. I actually am wanting to maybe franchise that model at some point because I just love it. And we, going to school 2 days a week, it was very much so following the model of a private school. We wore uniforms. It was very kind of strict, very structured. And in that environment, we actually were taught the Romantic languages. We were taught Latin and Greek. And so when I'm looking at the root of words, I will typically return to either the Latin or the Greek word. And so this evening, as we are discussing joy, I return to the Greek word for joy and the root word for it, which is chara, chara. And I found this really beautiful article around it. And I want to just read a section because it was just so beautiful to read. In terms of cultural significance, Kara carries a sense of lightness and positivity. In Greek mythology, the term relates to the concept of joy, which is often represented by deities or spirits that embody these feelings. The name that sometimes is associated with it is Caritas, known as happiness known as the graces in English. These figures were personifications of beauty, charm, and joy, and they played a role in mythology by bringing happiness to human lives. As such, the name may evoke the qualities of grace and beauty, making it appealing to parents seeking a name that embodies positive virtues. Y'all, the reason why this really resonated with me is because so often when we think about joy, we think of it as just a kind of a single feeling, which is something positive, something that's cheerful. But to add in these elements of grace and beauty, it adds so much more depth to it. You know, when we're thinking about joy, it's man, now when I hear concepts such as in the biblical text, they have this concept of count everything as joy, even when it's a trial or suffering. And the reason why I love the addition of beauty and what was the other one? Beauty and grace. No, joy, beauty and grace. Yes, beauty and grace is because from so often from the depths of sorrow is beauty yielded. It's like that is actually we talk about where are we making our investments? Every investment has a yield. So if we are investing in this quality that is charis, it's going to take suffering and actually yield beauty, and take suffering or pain and yield joy. It's going to take moments of real hardship and actually add an element of grace, where you actually can sit in your own pain and extend yourself the grace you need because you see the beauty lines throughout, and then that yields joy. It's just, man, every single moment in life is colored and textured by these through lines. That is the very root of joy. It actually includes beauty and grace. And here's what's so interesting. You know, this is very feminine. And I'm going to go here. We barely do go in this conversation. I don't think I've talked about this for probably maybe 9 months. So a lot of times the right hemisphere of the brain, this is where our emotions lie, this is where creativity lies, versus the left hemisphere of the brain, which is very structured. That is the very thing that we've been cultivating and tending to since we were kids. In school education, they've taught us how to think. They've taught us, you know, mathematics and science, even history, but even then that touches a little bit into the right hemisphere. So there's just this emphasis on a structured, ordered way of living. Exist and be in the confines of this box which we're giving you. Whereas the right hemisphere is very fluid, it's very creative, it's very nurturing. As such, the left hemisphere is more so identified with the masculine, and the right hemisphere is more so identified with the feminine. I had this thought probably 3 or 4 years ago, where I had just this, you know, consideration around what would it look like if we were to blend the Spartan and Athenian cultures. What would it look like if we were to pull forth the very best of both? Because obviously neither one survived. But what would it look like if we were to pull forth both of these aspects? You know, the warrior and the defender, the protector, the fierce fighter, and then the lover and the poet and the artist. And to that point, if we are to live fully embodied with both hemispheres of our brain activated, with ourselves fully alive, we actually need to learn to cultivate the things that have been deemed more masculine and the things which have been deemed more feminine. And in so doing, now we get to experience a full range of human emotion. We get to experience beauty and not have that deemed something other than maybe your sexual orientation. You know, guys, we have come up with these definitions and these words that have actually defiled the integrity of beauty, or the integrity of the feminine, or the integrity of the masculine. And now people feel like they have to choose, rather than a woman being able to go and defend her family if she's a single mom, or a man being able to paint and draw or sing or dance without being something other than a homosexual, or no, what is it? No, a non-homosexual man. Having the ability to cultivate these different parts of ourselves without receiving a label. A woman can be fiercely loyal and defend her family without being a feminist. And yet, what culture has done is that it's reduced, again, with these structures and these boxes, they limit us. The very fabric of society has actually negated the ability for and, this conjunction and, that allows for two seemingly opposing views or seemingly opposing ways of being to live in harmony together. And this is where juxtaposition is so, so powerful, and was probably the hardest concept I've ever learned. How do I live with both and? In fact, when I went through my divorce, when my husband left, I was just asking my therapist, I was like, how can he love me and leave me? I don't understand. Like, my brain could not process two such opposing isms, like I am this or I am that, you are, and this is true. And so to allow for the isms to exist in concert together, it required like an emotional maturity and cultivating of my brain to allow for the merging and kind of the blending of the right and the left hemisphere, because now I have a framework for and. I can be a lover and a warrior. I can be a kind, sweet, tender, nurturing person and someone who is organized and structured and disciplined and goes after it and has ambition. And both of those can exist in concert. We don't have to choose. And once we start giving ourselves permission to do that, now we can have beauty with discipline. Now we can have pain and joy. Now we can have suffering and hope. Now all these seeming opposites can coexist in harmony together, and we don't have to live disparate or disconnected, but we're able to really exist together in relationship. Just coming back to the chat here. Good evening. Good to see you guys. Brian, thank you so much for starting us off here. I'm so grateful for you, my friend. Oliver, hello. Good to see you. Oliver, I do have a special announcement. Yay. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm very excited about this, and I'm excited to hear y'all's thoughts. But first, Jeff, hello. Good to see you, my friend. Julian, hello. Shoals, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much I'm waving. Good to see you. Goose Hunter, thank you. Good to see you. Thank you, Oliver. You know me. Jeff, hello. Mike, have you ever heard of Crocodile Love? Right when you said Crocodile Love, I thought of the song Crocodile Rock. Isn't that what it's called? Elton John, I think. Man in the Hat, one of my very favorite people. I'm so glad to see you. I was thinking about you tonight. I was flying into Nashville. I'm meeting with a client tomorrow, and I was thinking of you, and I was like, I have an email that I need to get to. But I'm so glad to see you. Actually, I have an email I need to send to you also, as well as read yours. So I'm excited to do that. Image Elohim, hello. Good to see you. I love that. Love is not a man that lie. In the Bible, God is not a man that lie, but love is God. Christine, can joy be a substitute for happiness and vice versa? Does each of these states of mind have its own characteristic? It's one, oh man, I don't want to speak out of turn here. So go do your own research. But what I would say with happiness, I was leaning into joy tonight in terms of like, what is the Greek root of joy? And when I went to, just kind of like the normal dictionary, let's say, it actually has it has a different kind of depth to it than I have found happiness to be. It sounds, again, it's almost like it's a state of being, joy. Whereas happiness actually feels more like a feeling that ebbs and flows. It's flighty. It has a mind of its own. It comes and goes. Whereas joy is I want to perpetually be in joy, especially when we add on the depth of beauty and grace that grounds it, so that even in the depth of pain, I actually can still have joy. I will probably not be happy at all if I'm in pain. But the reason why I have joy is because that joy, the beauty and the grace, because of how that works with pain. I can alchemize pain. I can alchemize suffering. I know that. I've seen it done. I've done it myself. And I know, again, whenever I experience pain again, and God forbid, I've already thought about just the horrors of life and what can happen. And I'm like, okay, what would it look like to choose joy if? And like existing in this state. And I think, with joy, it almost begets hope. It's like, I have joy because there is something deeper and more meaningful. My dad told me, I've said this multiple times. My dad told me, if you can just believe that God is good, and that is the greater truth than we talk about little t truth and capital T truth. And the fact of the goodness of God and the beauty of God, and that we are made in his image, and that this is not the end of the story. Each one of those is the capital T truth. Whereas the lower T truth, as devastating as it is, death, I actually don't believe that that's the end. And so, because of that, joy can be a perpetual state of being, whereas happiness is more so fleeting. And I actually, contrary to how I was raised, I think happiness is one of the best of things. I love being happy, and I didn't used to. I actually kind of shamed happiness, to be honest with you, because I thought that life was intended to be suffering, because it's to the degree of your suffering is the degree to which you are a good person. And there's a lot of religious language around that that I actually think has been misapplied. Even just to use an example from one particular religion, the story of Jesus's first miracle, Christ's first miracle, was that he turned water into wine. He was literally helping facilitate a party. He was continuing. They ran out of wine, and he continued the party by turning, I think it was 10 barrels or 6 barrels into wine. What a fun, happy thing. And so, in the exploration of happiness, there actually is vulnerability in that. It's interesting when we kind of consider the two, and I've never thought about this, so I love your question. You always ask the best questions, Goose Hunter. Perhaps vulnerability really lies in happiness, to allow for an elevated state of emotion, knowing it will come down. Will I intentionally allow for peaks when I know that valleys will come after? And will I be okay going to the valley? So that's an interesting concept. Comic Book Fusion, I'm so glad to see you. Thank you for joining. Jasmine, hello. Agape, that's love, the soul. Invictus, the sun. Ooh. Oh, that's so interesting. I'm Rajan. Hello. Be it a girl or a boy, everyone runs after money. I have never run after money in my life. I always run after true love. Oh, I love that. Oh, man in the hat. I love you. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful you're here. Honoring intimates, rejoice always, pray without ceasing, and everything give thanks. I love that. Oh my gosh. Oh, please give a blessing for ones without homes, people who live with no home out in this 100-degree weather. God bless them across the world. I just got chills. Comic Book Fusion. Thank you. You know what I love about being together, y'all, is that each one of us brings such a different dimension. Some people bring creativity. Some people bring empathy. Some people bring compassion. Some people bring, a new lesson or something that they're learning, and even just this reminder. I'm so grateful for your reminder that, man, I think about how hot I'm feeling, but I don't think about those without homes. And so thank you. God bless them. I'm so grateful for that. The Lao, hello. We are not pre-recorded. We are live. Scrolling through. Mayhem, hello. Good to see you, Jeremy's. I love that. Sosa says, isn't that crazy? His first miracle was at a party and turned water into wine to keep the party going. I freaking love that. Florian, hello. Bonsoir. Hulk, hello. Thank you guys for joining. Interesting take on vulnerability and connection to happiness. Root of Jesse, good to see you. AG, hello. JP, hello. What's the subject? We're talking about joy tonight. And I love that you said, what's the subject? I hope it's mental health. I actually would offer, and I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts about this. So let's have a little bit of a conversation, shall we? I would love to hear. I would offer or posit as an idea for conversation that the degree of our joy, deeply rooted, based on capital T truth, that allows for beauty and grace, as we just defined. Actually, I think that is a very good indication of your mental health or lack thereof. What do you all think? Scrolling here. Kevin, hello from Ireland. Oh, I'm so glad you found us. Good to see you. Kevin, have you been here before? I feel like I recognize your name, but I don't remember. Either way, I'm glad you're here. It's good to see you. Plato identifies the opposite as the tyranny that in Rome was the wartime mode started in 50 BC and never stopped till Illuminism, 1600 with Spinoza. Man, I have so much to learn from you, which is actually part of the announcement we're going to make tonight. So, yay, stay tuned, everybody. Don't leave. I will give it here in like literally 2 minutes, but I'm just going through the chat. Iron Will, thanks for joining. Honoring intimates. Oh, I love that one. Christine, can all-encompassing joy interfere with the true picture of the state of our mind as we really are? It's so funny. I've never heard that concept of with the true picture of the state of our mind as we really are. Are you talking about like our nature? Because I did say that in the title of the show, what if joy is your nature? So let's talk about that, because I'm glad you brought that up. Y'all, I believe, given that the Greek root of the word joy comes from charis, and charis means actually to include beauty, grace, and joy within its definition. Charis, like that's what it means. And I actually think that that is a core quality of our Creator. And so if we are made in his image, I believe that we actually have charis as almost like, it's almost like DNA. Oh, what a cool thought. We have like spiritual DNA where, man, it's like we're born with eye color and skin type or blood type, and we all look certain ways, and we all are very different. Everyone is so different from each other. And I think each one of us has spiritual inbuilt DNA, which we actually all share. And I think part of our spiritual DNA, it's almost like our heritage, it's like our bloodline, is joy. Even the concept of the fruit of the Spirit, like you shall know a tree by its fruit. So therefore, if we were to consider what is our spiritual heritage, if we are to be like that which is the one who made us, well, who is he? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Those are that's our spiritual heritage. So perhaps it actually is a return to our nature to experience joy. Joy is the result of understanding that the only way to get healed is to love God and not men. Word. That's so beautiful. I love that. Luke, hello. Good to see you. Derek, hello. I'm glad you're here. Sash Beaches says, the body is the temple. That is so good. Martin, hello. All right. Okay, it's been 2 minutes. I want to tell you guys something that I'm super, super excited about. So I decided, so it was my birthday yesterday, and every year I want to have like one thing that I do that is meaningful, that touches other people, that makes some kind of an impact. And this year I've been doing the show, and this year, as I was turning my birthday, I decided, we've been talking about doing a knowing community for so long. And I'm just going to be perfectly vulnerable with you guys. I have been afraid to do it because I was afraid, what if no one joins? Like, what if I'm just sitting here in my community all alone? And you know what? I realized, I was like, you know what? This isn't about me actually at all. I have had this on my heart, and I want to do the things that are on my heart. I want to live according to that which is within me and be faithful to that, because I think that over time, our dreams die, and the call and the emotion and the passion starts to dwindle if we don't honor it, if we don't listen, if we don't regard it, if we don't do it. And so I decided, what the heck? Let's do it. So I launched my community, and I wanted to I haven't launched it publicly. I made it go live. And I would love for you guys to be the first people to join. It's free. It's just a place where we're going to hang out and be together. I just put it in the link, and we're going to have a private group every single Sunday where we're all going to meet, and I get to see your faces. For those of you who want to be on camera, we actually get to talk rather than just I love our chat. Honestly, the chat is like sacred to me. But I want to hear from you. Like I want to hear words coming out of your mouth, and I want to see your faces. And I would just, I would be honored, and I am going to be a gracious host. I promise. And my promise to you is that this is going to be a place where we foster connection, where we foster emotional health, emotional healing, where we literally are better after we leave. Like maybe we don't even leave. Like my dream for this community is so big, is that every single person who joins moves from consumer to creator, where we're all challenging each other and seeing the best in each other and calling each other forth. Y'all, some of the reasons why we slowly start to die is because no one is calling us forth. And so I want this community to be a place where we show up and say, you know what? I had this dream when I was 7 years old. I had this dream when I was 15. I had this dream when I was 2. And I've let it die. And how do I resurrect it? You know, that's what a mastermind is, where except people in masterminds pay 30 grand and the people at the front talk the whole time. I want this community to be a place where we all are talking and giving and receiving. My vision for this is, again, it's so big, but it's going to be built out in incremental phases. And the reason why I wanted to open up to you guys first, you know, I've got emails that I could send this to. I'm posting it on social and all of that, but I wanted to have you guys first because I feel like we know each other, you know, and you guys know me, and you know the content, and you guys have given so much already by way of showing up. Every person who comments something that is life-giving is serving. And in that service, we receive. And so as we are connecting here tonight on the show, I want our conversations in the chat, in the community, we're going to have a designated chat where it's an ongoing conversation, and we're going to have themes where we're going to have a room and a space for loss, because that has been such a conversation here on the show where there's just a lot of brokenness. And we're going to have a space for relationships, because that is an ongoing, ever challenging thing that we all need to grow in. And we're going to have a space dedicated to play and just having fun. So we're going to actually stop having our trivia nights be public, but that's going to be just for the community. I'm going to get on, you know, Wednesdays, the first Wednesday of the month, and, you know, kind of invite people to join us over in the community. But we're going to do our community trivia nights, and it's the first Wednesday of every month. And then every Sunday, we're going to be gathering in the evening as we look ahead to the week. Who do we want to be? You know, living with intention. Y'all, there's only so much other people can do to hold our hand. So this is a place where we are committing to being better ourselves, but also giving and receiving. Like, I want to show up, and man, I want to receive help to be the person, the man or the woman that I want to be. And I'm also going to commit to doing that for others. So I'm giving this to you guys, and I would love for the next 2 weeks. We're going to start our first Sunday night in a couple weeks from now. I scheduled an event for trivia on the calendar. There's some guidelines in there. There's not much yet, but we're also going to be having a daily alignment that I'm going to be sharing in there. And so it's going to populate. It's going to be so much bigger. For right now, though, I would really love for you guys to you guys can join, and then send me messages. Tell me how to be better. So you know what? I'm actually going to, this is so fun. I'm actually going to create a space right now where we can talk about ideas for the community and how to make this better. Guys, I want this to be built with you. It's built by us and for us. So all that to say, I would love to have you guys. I am jumping here in the chat just to see what people are saying. Insta, Tim, Graham, hello. Good to see you. Oh, today's your birthday, Mirik. Hello. I love that. Happy birthday. Nishan, how old are you? You are welcome to guess. A lady never tells. Ray, hello. I'm so glad you're here. Luke, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. EMP. Yay, guys, come join. I'm so excited. We're honestly, I think that this is going to be the place where we're all going to, be able to give to each other. Here's the other thing. Over the next couple weeks, it's let's all get in there, even if there's just 10 of us. Let's just maybe, I don't know how many people will join tonight, but let's get 10 to 15 people in there. and let's fill the spaces. Let's get ideas. I want to hear from you. I really, really, really do. So I'm going to go ahead and jump over there, create a space where we can just drop ideas, and it's just going to be a fluid chat. But that's my announcement. I'm so excited. It's been a long time coming, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. So you guys have the link. I'll drop it in the comments for this video. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for how you guys show up for this show. Thank you for how you show up for each other. And you know what? I really respect each one of you for showing up for yourself too. You know, this show has helped me so much, and I hope it's helped you. And I think that the more that we're committed to our own change and our own growth and changing, the more we're really going to be able to impact our businesses, our communities, and our families, and beyond. Who knows? The world, which is a very big dream. But anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here with me. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. I'm going to go create that chat, and I'll go greet you guys over there. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about this. Feel free. I actually have to download. I'm new. I've never done Circle before, but I'm going to download the app and figure out how to use that, because right now it's just on my computer. But anyways, Rav Uganda, hello. Thank you guys so much for joining tonight. Brian, grateful for you, my friend, as always. Weeb, hello. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Weeb, come join our community. We just announced it. There's like 5 members, I think. It's very small, but come join us. We're going to be building it out internally with just the Knowing Show community, moving it over there, and then we're going to kind of publicize it. But for now, just want to open it up to you guys, because you guys are my people. So, all right, love you guys.